Hi, welcome to the show. Today I have with me Heather Hunter, the Executive Director of Champion Team. So stick around. I think you'll want to know what they do, and you may be interested in helping out or even going in to get some help yourself. So thank you here to be here with us today, Heather.
Hi.
You're the Executive Director
Yes.
of Champion Team.
Yep.
And how long have you been doing that?
I started as the executive director October 2017. I've been working at Champion Team since 2015.
And give us maybe just a little background, the mission statement about what does Champion Team do?
Champion Team is a drop-in center. It's a peer-run drop-in center for people with mental diversity and the co-occurring homelessness, addictions, incarceration. It's really just a safe place for people to come and hang out and be warm or cool depending on the weather. We have food, we have clothes, we have Wi-Fi, we have Netflix. We have all kinds of meetings and services for people. It's just really it's a place to meet people where they're at and for them to be safe and comfortable.
That's quite a list of what you do. How does all that come together? You talked about a lot of services you have. You have food, you have hygiene, you have clothing. Where does all that come from?
A lot of it just kind of happened. The the clothing room started because the Carlton Blessing Room closed, and so they gave us a lot of their clothing, and we just decided to open a clothing room, and that's where that started. The dental office started because I was storing the dental equipment for Capital Dental in our building, and they asked if we wanted to start a dental clinic once a week. So I just think that things kind of fall into place. The Salvation Army gives us food once a week. Winco gives us bread every week. There's a couple of people that just drop by food once a week. Things just kind of happen.
So if somebody listening wants to do something about homelessness, addiction, mental diversity issues, people coming out of incarceration needing support, they could come and show up and say, "What could I do?" They could bring clothing, they could bring food, what other kind of support could they give?
Um, we have, there's a lot that people can do. We have a lot of different programs going on. People can donate money at any time. They can donate time, food, clothing, like you said. We always love having people come in and just volunteer their time. Sitting down and talking to people is pretty amazing. It's the people that we work with, a lot of them are homeless, and a lot of people don't see the homeless population. They walk past them like they don't exist. And I work with some pretty amazing people. And if someone wanted to come in and just sit down and have some conversations, I think that they would be pretty surprised at how intelligent and kind and responsive the people that I work with are.
All right. Now, that would be someone like myself that wanted to kind of just be involved. But then there's another level of training. You talk about peer support. Tell me about that.
So there's all of us that work there right now are peer support specialists. We went through training through Project Able, which is another peer support place in town, sorry. They teach the class for peer support training. They also do quite a bit of peer support for one-on-one individuals, and they have groups at their place as well. Peer support is meeting people where they're at and using the strengths that you have from your past to help people through what they're going through right now.
So a lot of people that become peer support, you're trained, Project Able, how long a course is it?
It takes a week.
Uh-huh.
And then there's other trainings that you can take, lots of other trainings. But the peer support specialist training is a week-long course.
And oftentimes people have gone through crisis themselves, been helped by a peer supporter,
Right,
and then when they gain some level of recovery, stability, then
right.
they, or they have, everybody has their phases they go through. They're
Right.
not suddenly cured, but they take a training and they come back to see what they can do to help.
Right. You have to have 2 years clean and sober, and it does help if you've got your own mental health stability, if you're going to start helping people.
Yeah.
But sometimes that isn't always the case. Sometimes you have your own crisis, and you have to know how to get yourself help. But that's the nice thing about peer support is we all help each other. We all support each other. It it really it's really been life-changing for me because I worked as a social worker and a medical assistant for a long time, and then I got myself in trouble and was looking at 40 and not knowing what I was going to do with my life. And vocational rehab said, you would be a great peer support specialist. And I had never even heard of that. And when I heard about it and ended up at Provoking Hope, which is another peer support place in town, I was amazed. I wish that I would have known about it so much earlier because it would have helped me quit so much sooner in life. Peer support is life-changing. It's much different than clinical support, which is great too. But peer support is just different because it's people that have been through what you've been through and they understand what you're going through.
So whoever that was that said you would be great at peer support, they really opened your opportunities to something that you've just dove into now.
Yes.
It's your life.
Yes.
And I want to say, Heather, I know of your activity in the community, and I want to say to the folks at home and to you, I see you as fearless. Maybe you have fear, but you certainly don't turn away from any challenge that comes before you, the most difficult ones that many of us do turn away from. We like you said, we don't want to look, we don't see. You don't turn away.
We don't.
Yeah.
I needed 5, 6, 7 chances before I got it. I have an awesome family that didn't turn me away, no matter what,
Wow.
and that helped me. But a lot of people don't have that, and so Champion Team, we become people's family, and we are the 5th, 6th, 7th chance place. We don't turn people away, and we try not to have a lot of rules because there are a lot of rules that people have to follow, and it is hard for some people to follow those rules. So I like them to be able to come to Champion Team and just kind of rest and be able to be whoever they need to be at that moment. And we deal with crisis, and we deal with anger, and we deal with, we deal with a lot. We deal with people that are people that are angry at the world. We deal with people that are scared. It doesn't matter to us. We just meet them where they're at the door, and we assess what's going on and go from there. And we have a lot of amazing community partners that we help them find the resources that they need that will help them. We do what we can, and then we point them in the direction of the rest of the places in town that can help them from there.
So that assessment, when someone comes in, you're listening and observing and trying to figure it out because there's a lot of different things that can be going on.
Yeah.
Why people come through the door. And often people will just tell you.
Right.
So that makes it, sometimes they might not.
Right.
So your training helps with that, your experience helps with that. How long you've been at Champion Team doing this again for?
Since 2015.
Okay, so boy, that's 4 years, 3 years already, maybe
Yeah.
4. And Champion Team has changed over time.
Yeah.
And I met you when you were assistant executive director anyway, and Lindsay was in charge then. And then suddenly she wasn't there,
Right.
and you got handed the whole thing.
Right.
Tell us about that.
Lindsay moved on to better things, and she really helped me a lot before she left, and that's great because I had no idea what I was doing. It was kind of trial by fire. And it was kind of a challenging year. Our budget was cut just because that's what happens sometimes. And we didn't take it as a failure. We took it as a challenge, and we worked on a shoestring budget and made it work because that's what we had, and we don't take no for an answer. And it ended up actually making us stronger. My staff is amazing, and the people, our volunteers are amazing, and the members they jump in and help us whenever they can. It's really just, I think it's one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in my life, to be able to have the honor to work at Champion Team. And I have Silas Halloran Steiner, who is the head of HHS in town, in McMinnville, and he has really helped me a lot since I've become the executive director. He's kind of my mentor, and he really is a champion for peer support in general. He's done quite a bit for Yamhill County, getting as much peer support as he can into Yamhill County in various different ways, which is amazing just in its own right, to have someone in his position really fighting for peer support specialists.
I don't know what it is about him, but he comes up a lot with nothing but praise
Right?
afterwards.
Yeah.
He's quite a guy.
He is, and he's helped me quite a bit.
Just personally. Makes
Yeah.
time for you.
Yes.
You said a mentor
Yeah.
mentors you in how to, wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible. So you were suddenly thrust into this position and also kind of out into the community. And
Yeah.
okay, now you've got to go fundraise, and you need to organize this office, and there's HR, and there's payroll, and oh my gosh.
Yes. I have amazing staff. Mirna Corey is my payroll person. I guess payroll executive, let's say. She is wonderful. She doesn't work a lot of hours, but she gets a lot done in those 10 hours that she works, and she's patient with me, and keeps me on my toes and doing the right thing. She's really great, and I'm lucky to have her. And Sean Brown is the other paid staff member that I have, and she's been in this town a long time, worked at Henderson House for years before working at Champion Team, and she is a rock star. She's a powerhouse. I could not have done last year without those two.
Wow.
They really, there was no raises, there was no incentive to stay there. Hours were cut, everything, and they still stood beside me and worked with me.
I think the community saw that. I think you just were refusing to close the doors. And as a result of that, it attracted people's attention, like Silas and others. Tell us about some of the other community partners.
We work with we work with anyone that will work with us, but we're managing the overnight car park program, and YCAP helped us get a grant for that so that we could manage that program successfully. And that was, I don't know how we would have done it without YCAP. That was really helpful.
You brought a flyer about that, didn't you?
We did.
Caroline, what have we got? Oh, it's okay. The print's a little small. Tell us about what's on this page, Heather.
This is a flyer about our car camping program, and it talks about what you as a community member could do to help us. We have pretty much everything we need for the program. We just need host sites now. And so what this program is it's mirroring something that's been going on in Eugene. And Remy Drabkin has really been working hard to
City
get this,
councilor.
get this going, and the city's been working hard. They created an ordinance to make it happen, so that people could park their cars in certain areas legally and be safe. And Champion Team would manage the sites. I think I'm getting ahead of myself, I'm sorry. So in the site, they have a porta potty, they have garbage. I'm hoping to get zero waste involved. So there would be like a little caravan of cars, 3 at the most in each site. And it would be a spot where people can park their cars safely and park overnight, and while they're working on getting housing.
So the porta potty and the trash collection is paid for by the grant from YCAP. Is that part of the money you administer?
Recology is actually donating all their services.
Wow.
Yeah. And we have had some donors come in and pay for the porta potties.
Okay.
And, all of those things have been paid for and taken care of. People really want to help the program. We just need some people to allow us to park cars on their property. And so if you have some property that you would not mind having cars parked on, you could give us a call at Champion Team. As managers of the site, we would be going out there very regularly, making sure that everything's clean and the people that are living there are following all of the rules, and the people that are picked for the program are vetted. They go through quite a vetting program or process, excuse me. So it's not just anybody that gets into the program, because we want it to be successful. And the people that are moving into the program want it to be successful too. They've bought into it just like we have. They want to be able to park their cars and have it be a safe place for them to live while they're looking for permanent housing.
So the site would be not on the street like in front of my house,
Right.
but would be in a side yard, or you own a vacant lot somewhere. What kind of sites kind of lend themselves to this?
It would be a side yard. It would be a vacant lot. It would be someone's side. Like if you have a parking lot and you have a space in your parking lot, some places in Eugene, they really use these spaces as night watchmen, free night watchmen. The people that live in their cars kind of watch the places at night. And it's really been a very successful program in Eugene.
Let's just pause on that for a minute. So you want someone there as a presence in a yard that has a problem with people maybe being where they shouldn't.
Yeah.
And there's a light on here, and they know somebody is there right now, and maybe they've got a dog inside that barks if somebody comes around. That's kind of a win-win there, isn't it?
Right? Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
And Eugene, they said that works very well for them. So, I mean, we wouldn't want anyone to get out and run people off, but they could call 911
Yeah,
or
just a-
non-emergency and alert the police that somebody is on the property that doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
And again, they're vetted. These people that are living there, they want to better themselves. They want to get permanent housing. They're not wanting to live in their car for the rest of their lives. They're not going to leave a mess
Yeah.
outside of the property. They're taking ownership of where they're living. And we provide garbage and the porta potty and even storage, so that there's no storage on top of the car, underneath of the car, beside the car. There's a lot of rules.
Okay. I think people that they need to know, be comfortable that this is going to go well, and if it doesn't go well, then it'll go away.
Right.
Caroline, could you bring back up that graphic of the front door of Champion Team? Yeah, so people are thinking, okay, I want to help. Now where is this? This is, tell us who you're near there on Adams.
We're right across from Wells Fargo, on Adams.
Okay, and that's the brick building. I guess the old Mormon Church, the law firm is just to the south of you.
Right. We're the old Evergreen building, I guess.
And next to you is the drop-in center for MB Advancements.
Yes.
Okay, so I hope people can visualize that. If not, there's the address. And what a nice location you have there.
It is.
And I visited there, and Sean showed me around. I don't think you were there when I dropped in, but so there was a comfortable chair. There's a couple of rooms where you can sit and be quiet, or you can sit out front and just kind of sit there. And you've got Wi-Fi and mind your own business, or look up and talk to Sean or whoever else might be there to help support. So tell us about how someone would come in. Are peer support people, are they on duty at a certain time, or do they get paired up as people drop in, or how does that work?
We're there all the time.
I mean, people non-staff, like not you, not Sean, but you have people that are trained that help and volunteer?
For the most part, it's just the staff.
You, Sean, and Scott.
Right.
Okay.
And we're the main peer support specialists that are there. And then we have Rocky Meyer, who is, he volunteers a lot.
Okay.
He's not a peer support specialist, but
Okay.
he's a peer for sure. And he's very helpful and I don't know what we would do without him. He's great. He takes people down quite a bit to the clothing room and cleans a lot. The place would not be as clean as it is without Rocky.
Helps people do their laundry, maybe. People bring in laundry.
Well, we don't have laundry
I
services
forgot
yet.
why I got that in my head. Okay.
I wish we did.
All right.
But he'll
Make coffee, make tea.
makes coffee, makes
comfortable.
tea, takes people to the clothing room, takes people on tours, mops, does the dishes. He's pretty handy. But I'm usually sitting at the front desk, so people come in and they sit in the chairs and talk to me for a while. And Sean's usually up and down the halls or running a group, so they'll stop her. And Scott's in the back. We kind of all strategically plant ourselves in different places so that people can find us.
Let's talk about the groups that happen. The group meetings. You have several different programs.
We do. We have groups 7 days a week. We're open 7 days a week. We have all kinds of groups.
Open 7 days a week. That really is comforting. If I'm feeling like you won't knock on the door. Oh my gosh, you're not open on Monday, but I'm having a crisis now. Oh my gosh. Okay, I just wanted to pause on that.
Yeah,
7 days a week.
that's okay.
I'm sorry. That's great.
And, like this morning, I was there early and a guy had court and he knocked on the door and I let him in so he could shave. So he would look presentable for court. We do stuff like that all the time just because that's what we do.
Yeah.
So we're not always there early, but if I'm there, why not? But our groups, we have someone who's going to school for her master's degree in art. She comes in twice a week and does an art class. We have Emil who comes in and does Dual Diagnosis Anonymous 4 days a week, which is the 12 steps plus 5, which is the 12 steps of like Alcoholics Anonymous and then 5 steps for mental health. And it's just, it was created for people that have mental health challenges and maybe take mental health medications or can't sit still in a meeting. It's just structured differently for the people that need it, need something a little bit different than a 12-step group. And Emil is amazing. I love him. He is always there on time, and he will stay late if somebody needs to talk. He's great.
Walk us through maybe what some of your experience when someone comes in the door, how they might be with you for a short time or a long time. Maybe there's no typical, but what would be someone's experience that walked in the door having a mental crisis? Is that what you talk about, or an acute mental situation? And maybe they have an addiction, and so what would be that person's track with you? Might that look like?
Um, it's different for everyone, but I've had people come in that are in crisis. They're suicidal for whatever reason. Something has happened, and they need to talk. So we'll go into a separate room and talk so that they can have some privacy, and we'll decide together, the person and myself or whoever's speaking with them, if they want the crisis team to be called. And there are times that we need to call the crisis team in to make sure that the person is safe and gets everything that they need from our community. But there's times that people just need to be listened to, and that happens a lot. And
People come in saying, having so much anxiety, I can't breathe hardly, I can't operate. So over a period of time, you would maybe get through that episode, but they would come back and be involved. Like, what would be a good program for somebody that's feeling that?
We have women's empowerment group, which is we have several different types of groups. Self-confidence group. We have a alternatives to suicide group. We have. I wish I had a calendar in front of me.
But those are two huge things. Women empowerment. That you come once a week.
It's once a week. And then self-confidence, anxiety and depression group. The suicide alternatives to suicide group has been going on for quite a while now, and it's a good group to just come and talk. If you've had suicidal ideations, it's just a good group to come and talk about how you get out of bed every morning and come in and talk about how you're feeling instead of ending your life.
So those groups that you've mentioned, each one of those is a universe in itself. I mean, it's huge, and that you offer that is amazing. I hope people that need that know that you're there. So you're open 7 days a week. What are the hours when you open?
Friday through Monday, we're 10 to 3, and then Tuesday through Thursday, we're 11 to 7. And those have been the hours for a long time, and we probably won't change them anytime soon. They seem to work pretty well.
Yeah. Well, I just looked over at the clock a few minutes ago. I was amazed that we're almost out of time, which is. I guess this is just such a topic that's up in so many ways in our community. If you want it, we're kind of addressing two groups right now, Heather, aren't we? We're addressing people that are concerned about their neighbor, what they could do for someone in crisis, and we're also talking to people that may be having some of these issues. So we want to invite people to show up either way.
And I'm much more articulate in my own element. I feel like I tripped over my words quite a bit here, but people are always welcome to come into Champion Team and just for a tour or to pick up a calendar and see what we're about.
And I've done exactly that. I dropped in, and it was very friendly, accepting, warm, and I just thought, wow, this is wonderful. Well, thank you. Thank you to you and your team, and your strength and your not say die attitude has really sustained a wonderful resource in our community. I thank you very much. And thanks for being here.
Thank you.